All right. Well, look, let's get into something serious. And this is the San Francisco 49ers, we know, just released Reuben Foster, their big-time linebacker, big-time draft pick from a couple years ago, for suspicion, or he was arrested for domestic violence. And the Washington Redskins, Rob, picked up or claimed Reuben Foster off of waivers. According to Adam Schefter, they were the only team to put in a waiver claim for Foster. Now, let me just read what the report about Foster, the arrest report, said, the police report when he was arrested in Tampa on Saturday night. Okay? This is what it says. Foster slapped his girlfriend, slapped the phone out of her hand, pushed her in the chest area, and slapped her with an open hand on the left side of her face. Officers observed a 1-inch scratch on the victim's left collarbone. Now, here's the thing. I mean, this is just terrible, and we know that this nation has come a long way in terms of its views on domestic violence.
Especially.
And the only way we're going to, and you may never rid it, from society altogether, but the only way you're really going to stop a lot of men from doing this, including football players and professional athletes, is if the stigma becomes so bad and so negative that it's the last thing you'd want to do is be stigmatized as somebody that put your hands on a woman. And one of the parts that should be included in that is jobs. Now, I'm not saying he's just been charged, we'll see what's true or not. But this guy has a history of problems. Marijuana problems in the past. In February, he was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. He had a bunch of guns with him. He's been on probation. And so he has a history. If he's proven innocent, then by all means, the Redskins or whoever, you can go out and get him. But until then, you should not have claimed him, especially when you are a team that needed a quarterback just a week or two ago. And you didn't even look at Colin Kaepernick, whose crime is standing up on behalf of American citizens who have been shot
by
policemen who are paid to protect and serve them.
Right. Unarmed.
That's worse in the Washington Redskins' eyes than a guy that was arrested for domestic violence.
And has a rap sheet.
Yes. This is terrible, and it has to stop. And the shame on the Washington Redskins, and I know the league probably can't do anything about it now.
But shame on
when the collective bargaining agreement comes up, they should put something in there that a guy in this situation
pending
cannot
charges
be claimed.
Can't be claimed until he's no one's saying that if it all shakes out and he's exonerated, Chris, that he can't work or get a job.
Right.
But it just has a bad feel and look that a guy's in this situation that you're falling over yourself to go pick up for a job. It doesn't make any sense.
No. It's bad all the way around.
It doesn't make any sense. But these are the same Washington franchise that has been like a disaster since Snyder bought them.
Yep.
They've only made the playoffs back-to-back twice, Chris, since 1991-92. It's been that long. That's how bad this franchise been. And also, it's the same franchise that refuses to remove a logo that most believe is racist.
Right.
And have over their dead body, basically, is what Snyder said.
Snyder has said that.
Exactly.
Basically.
That over his dead body would he change the logo. And my only point is, no wonder they're bad. No wonder the people that run that, the Redskins don't deserve any good fortune with the way that they do their business. That's what I'm talking about. It's called karma. When you don't do right by people and the idea that you would bring a guy in who's marred with all kinds of situations and charges and whatnot, Chris, your priorities aren't right. How do you bring people in like that? And then they got the nerve to push out Doug Williams to have Doug Williams issue the statement.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm just going to call it like it is. We'll get the black guy to go out.
Yep.
You go out front and tell everybody that we're bringing him in.
And here's the thing,
Rob.
I
think it's terrible.
I agree. I agree. And if guys do this and they just get a slap on the wrist, or the next NFL team picks you up, then they're going to keep doing it. Like I said, the stigma has to become so bad that the last thing you will want to be viewed as was somebody who hit a woman. It's like racism. Racism hasn't totally gone away. We know that.
Never has.
There are a lot of closet racists out there. But publicly, nobody wants to say they're a racist because the stigma has become so bad. And that's what has to happen with this. And I have 2 daughters, Rob, as you know, and as we say in the show's intro. One of them dated a football player. 6'6", 300 pounds.
300 pounds?
So Reuben Foster isn't that big, but he's obviously powerful.
Right.
I can't imagine being a woman. Heck, being a man when you're that much smaller than a guy like this. But being a woman and a guy pushes you in the chest, slaps you with an open hand on the left side of your face. Like, you don't know what this dude is going to do. And thankfully, he didn't go further. But can you imagine how frightened a woman would be when some dude, you're alone with a guy and he's losing control?
I just think, and I know we'll get the pushback about, there were other cases where women lied and this, that, and the other thing. Okay? This is not a first time. He's got a couple other charges and different stuff going on here.
Right.
Okay? So there's a pattern here, Chris. This is not
our track record follows us.
Exactly. And that's the stuff you have to look at. And the other thing is, no one's saying he should be banned from the NFL. We're not talking about that. We're talking about there should be let's get this thing out, figure out what's going on here, and then you can make that decision once those kind of charges are levied against people. And that's what we're talking about. There was a guy, I don't know if you saw this story, Chris, who worked for a company who put out something on Twitter, but basically it was about a black coach being lynched after did you see that?
I saw that.
And his company, right, he put his name on it publicly. They fired him.
Yep.
Because those aren't with the company's values. I'm sorry. And you could say whatever you want about whether you agree or disagree, but to be in this situation again and again and again is when I think an organization, Chris, can say, this is not what we want. This is not what we represent. And you can't keep your nose clean. There's always some run-in with the law, and that's why, in this case with Reuben Foster, you should just wait.
That's all
What
we're
is
saying.
the wait?
That's all we're saying.
We're just saying you should wait. Why does this have to happen when he's on the commissioner's exempt list? He can't even play now.
And look, even if he did it, if he's proven guilty, I'm not saying he should never play in the NFL
Nobody
again.
said that.
What we're saying is pay your dues. Serve your time, whatever you have to do before you come back. There has to be some type of payment served before you come back. All right, it's the Odd Couple.